This was the moment that made the entire world pause, one brief second caught on camera that instantly went viral. Timothée Chalamet standing under the dazzling lights of the Academy Awards, turning with a soft smile toward the two people closest to him, Pauline Chalamet and Kylie Jenner. What really happened in that quiet yet powerful moment? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now, Team Chalamet or Team Kylie, and don't forget to subscribe, because what you're about to hear might completely change how you see their relationship. The lights were blinding. The applause was endless. Designer gowns shimmered, tailored tuxedos commanded attention, everything looked like a typical Oscars night. But something felt different. This wasn't about awards. This wasn't about winning. This was about connection. About family. About who truly stands beside you when the entire world is watching. That night, Timothée Chalamet didn't just arrive as a major nominee, he arrived as someone bridging two very different worlds. On one side stood Pauline Chalamet, his sister, his longtime support system, the one who's been there since the very beginning of his rise. On the other side was Kylie Jenner, the woman whose relationship with him has sparked endless headlines, speculation, and curiosity across the globe. And then, it happened. The camera framed all three of them together. No dramatic gestures. No forced reactions. Just a shared glance, a subtle smile, and a quiet energy that said more than words ever could. Pauline looked relaxed. Kylie looked comfortable. And Timothee, he looked at peace. As if, for one fleeting moment, all the rumors and noise outside simply disappeared. The internet exploded almost instantly. People began asking the same question: was this a sign that the Chalamet family truly accepts Kylie? Because let's be honest, celebrity relationships like this rarely get that kind of visible family alignment, especially from a family known to be as private and grounded as the Chalamets. And that's exactly why this moment hit differently. There was no official statement. No carefully scripted interview. Just something real, something unfiltered. And that's what made it powerful. Online, fans started analyzing everything. The way Pauline Chalamet turned slightly toward Kylie. The way Kylie Jenner let out a small, natural laugh while Timothee spoke. Even the physical space between them became part of the conversation. This wasn't just gossip anymore, it turned into a global discussion about relationships, acceptance, and the meaning of subtle gestures in the spotlight. But here's the part most people missed. There was a split-second exchange, so quick it almost slipped by unnoticed, where Pauline and Kylie made eye contact and shared a smile. Not a staged, camera-ready smile. Something softer. Warmer. Real. And that's where everything shifted. Because if that moment was genuine, and it certainly looked like it, then this isn't just about a boyfriend introducing his partner to family. This is about two women from completely different worlds finding common ground, naturally. The pacing shifts. The footage slows down. A close-up of Timothee's expression. A quick zoom into subtle hand movements as he speaks. Cut to audience reactions. Then back again. The rhythm builds, drops, and rises, keeping the energy alive, pulling viewers deeper into the story. What makes this moment so compelling is the contrast. Kylie Jenner represents global pop culture dominance, glamour, business empires, constant media attention. Meanwhile, the Chalamet family carries a more artistic, low-profile, almost indie aura. Two completely different energies that, on this night, didn't clash, they blended. And people can't stop talking about it. Some are calling it a soft launch of family approval. Others believe it's just a normal interaction blown out of proportion. But one thing is undeniable, the emotional reaction from viewers is real. Millions of views. Thousands of comments. And one question echoing everywhere: is this the beginning of something bigger? As we move toward the turning point, a pattern begins to emerge. Timothée Chalamet has always kept his personal life guarded. Pauline Chalamet has remained protective of their family's privacy. And Kylie Jenner, despite living in the spotlight, knows when to stay quiet. So when all three appear together in such an organic, unscripted moment, it doesn't feel accidental. It feels intentional. And here's the payoff. This wasn't about confirming a relationship. It wasn't about creating drama. It was about something far more meaningful: acceptance without words. Support without announcements. A sense of warmth that didn't need to be explained. In a world driven by headlines and speculation, sometimes the smallest, quietest moments carry the most weight. That night, under the brilliance of the Academy Awards, we didn't just see a movie star. We saw a man standing between two worlds he cares deeply about, and for the first time, those worlds seemed perfectly in sync. So now the question is yours. Was this just a fleeting moment captured by chance, or a powerful signal that their relationship has reached a whole new level? Comment your thoughts, share this with anyone following Hollywood's biggest stories, and don't forget to subscribe, because moments like this are only the beginning. And just when everyone thought that was the full story, something else began to unfold, quietly, almost invisibly, but powerful enough to shift the entire narrative once again. Because moments like this don't exist in isolation. Not at the Academy Awards. Not when the cameras never truly stop rolling. As the night continued, more clips started surfacing. Different angles. Different seconds. Tiny fragments of interaction that, when pieced together, told a deeper story about Timothée Chalamet, Pauline Chalamet, and Kylie Jenner. In one clip, Timothee leans slightly toward Kylie, saying something that makes her smile, not the kind of smile meant for cameras, but the kind that lingers for a second longer than expected. In another, Pauline appears engaged in the conversation, not distant, not reserved, but present. Fully present. And that detail matters more than people realize. Because presence is something you can't fake, not in an environment as intense as the Oscars. Not when every move is watched, replayed, slowed down, and dissected by millions. The energy between them felt balanced. No awkwardness. No tension. No invisible walls. And that's where the conversation started to evolve. What if this wasn't just about acceptance? What if this was about integration? The difference is subtle, but powerful. Acceptance is passive. Integration is active. It means worlds don't just tolerate each other, they begin to merge. And suddenly, everything about that moment takes on a new meaning. The way Kylie Jenner carried herself, confident, yet understated. The way Pauline Chalamet didn't dominate the space, but didn't withdraw either. And at the center of it all, Timothée Chalamet, not as a celebrity, but as a bridge. A connector. A person navigating two identities at once. The tempo shifts again. The visuals tighten. Quick cuts between audience reactions, flashes of cameras, whispers in the crowd. Then slow motion. A glance. A blink. A shared laugh. This is where the tension builds, not from conflict, but from curiosity. Because people aren't just watching anymore. They're searching for meaning. And here's where things get even more interesting. Behind the scenes, insiders began hinting that this wasn't the first time these dynamics had played out. That there had been quieter meetings. Smaller gatherings. Moments far away from flashing lights where these relationships had already begun to take shape. If that's true, then what we saw at the Academy Awards wasn't the beginning. It was the reveal. And that changes everything. Because a reveal is intentional. It's a moment chosen, not forced, when something private becomes visible. Not through words, but through presence. And that's exactly what made this so compelling. The narrative begins to tighten. Clips replay in slower motion. The internet zooms in, frame by frame. Analysts, fans, and casual viewers alike begin forming theories. Some emotional, some logical, some purely speculative. But all of them driven by one thing: the need to understand what they just witnessed. Was it genuine? Was it strategic? Or was it something in between? Because in Hollywood, those lines are never completely clear. But here's the twist, the part that pulls everything together. Even if there was strategy, even if there was intention behind appearing together, it doesn't erase the authenticity of the moment itself. Because authenticity isn't about the absence of awareness. It's about the presence of real emotion despite it. And that's exactly what people felt. A rare sense of calm in a space usually filled with performance. A moment that didn't scream for attention, but captured it anyway. And as the night slowly came to an end, something else became clear. No official statements were made. No interviews confirmed anything. No headlines declared a definitive answer. But they didn't need to. Because the image had already done the work. 3 people. 1 frame. A quiet connection that spoke louder than any press release ever could. And now, the conversation shifts to you. Because in moments like this, interpretation becomes part of the story. Do you see a family opening its doors? Do you see a relationship stepping into a new phase? Or do you see something even deeper, 2 completely different worlds learning how to exist together without losing themselves? The camera fades. The music softens. One last slow-motion replay of that shared glance. That subtle smile. That almost invisible exchange that started it all. And just before everything cuts to black, one final thought lingers. Sometimes, the biggest stories aren't the loudest ones. They're the quiet moments that make you feel something real. So what do you think really happened between Timothée Chalamet, Pauline Chalamet, and Kylie Jenner that night at the Academy Awards? Was it just a moment? Or the beginning of something much bigger? Comment your perspective, share this story with others following Hollywood's biggest moments, and stay tuned, because if this night proved anything, it's that the story is far from over. And just when it felt like the story had reached its peak, another layer quietly emerged, one that most people didn't notice at first, but once you see it, you can't unsee it. Because this wasn't just about what happened in front of the camera. It was about timing. At an event as massive as the Academy Awards, every second is orchestrated, every appearance carries weight, and every interaction, no matter how small, can shift public perception overnight. And yet, what made this moment involving Timothée Chalamet, Pauline Chalamet, and Kylie Jenner feel so different was how unplanned it appeared. No red carpet announcement. No coordinated pose. No headline-chasing move. Just presence. And that's exactly why it worked. Because in a world where almost everything feels curated, something unfiltered becomes magnetic. The pacing slows again. The footage replays, not from the main broadcast, but from side angles, fan recordings, alternate cuts. A different perspective reveals something subtle, the way Timothee slightly shifts his body, not away from either side, but toward both at once. It's almost symbolic. He's not choosing one world over the other. He's holding both. And that's where the emotional weight deepens. Because for someone like Timothée Chalamet, whose career has been built on authenticity, artistic credibility, and careful choices, every public appearance carries an unspoken message. And here, without saying a single word, he might have communicated more than ever before. Cut. Silence. Then a sudden shift in tempo. Clips of past interviews begin flashing, questions about privacy, about relationships, about fame. His answers were always measured, reserved, thoughtful. He never rushed to define anything. And yet, this moment felt like a definition. Not spoken, but shown. Meanwhile, Kylie Jenner, a figure so used to controlling her narrative, to building an empire on visibility, did something unexpected. She didn't take over the moment. She didn't dominate the attention. She simply existed within it. And that restraint? That quiet confidence? It changed how people saw her in this context. Not as a headline, but as part of a story. And then there's Pauline Chalamet. Because her role in all of this might be the most important and the most overlooked. She represents something grounding. Something real. The kind of presence that doesn't need validation from the outside world. And the fact that she appeared at ease, not forced, not performative, adds a layer of authenticity that can't be manufactured. The rhythm builds again. Quick cuts. Social media reactions flooding in. Comments stacking by the second. Theories forming in real time. Some viewers say, this is the confirmation we've been waiting for. Others argue, it's just a moment. People are reading too much into it. But here's the truth. Both can exist at the same time. Because meaning isn't always fixed. It evolves depending on who's watching. And that's what turns a simple interaction into a global conversation. Now the tension shifts inward. Not about what happened, but about what it means. Was this a turning point? A soft acknowledgement of something deeper? Or simply a rare, honest moment that the world wasn't used to seeing? The visual slowed to a near standstill. That same frame appears again, Timothee in the middle, Pauline on one side, Kylie on the other. Balanced. Calm. Unforced. And suddenly, it doesn't feel like a coincidence anymore. It feels like alignment. The kind that doesn't happen overnight. The kind that takes time. Which brings us to a deeper possibility. What if this moment wasn't created for the public at all? What if it just happened, and the world happened to be watching? Because that changes how we interpret everything. It shifts the narrative from performance to reality. And reality is always more compelling. The music fades into something softer now. A reflective tone. Because beyond the speculation, beyond the headlines, beyond the viral clips, there's something universally human in all of this. The desire to be accepted. The hope that the people closest to you can coexist. The quiet relief when they finally do. And maybe that's why this moment resonated so deeply. Not because of who they are, but because of what it represents. Connection. Understanding. A bridge between differences. And just when it feels like we've reached the end, one final detail emerges. As the cameras begin to move away, as the focus shifts to the next big moment of the night, there's a brief second, almost completely missed, where Timothee glances again toward both Pauline and Kylie. Not for the cameras. Not for the audience. But instinctively. As if checking that both worlds are still there. Still aligned. Still okay. And in that second, everything comes full circle. No grand declarations. No dramatic reveals. Just a quiet confirmation that something real exists beneath all the noise. So now, after seeing everything, every angle, every glance, every subtle interaction, the question isn't just what happened that night at the Academy Awards. The question is, what did it mean to you? Because maybe the real story isn't on the screen. Maybe it's in the way people connect to it. So if you felt something watching this, curiosity, excitement, even skepticism, drop your thoughts in the comments, share this with someone who's been following the story, and stay right here. Because in Hollywood, the loudest moments fade fast. But the quiet ones? They stay with you. And this one is still unfolding. And just when it seemed like every angle had been analyzed, every glance decoded, and every theory debated, something even deeper started to surface, something less visible, but far more powerful. Because the truth is, moments like this don't just live on screen. They evolve. In the hours after the Academy Awards, the narrative didn't slow down, it multiplied. New clips, new interpretations, new emotional reactions poured in from every corner of the internet. And at the center of it all remained the same trio: Timothée Chalamet, Pauline Chalamet, and Kylie Jenner. But now, the focus began to shift from what we saw to what we felt. Because there's a reason this moment hit differently. It wasn't loud. It wasn't staged. It didn't demand attention. And yet, it held it. The pacing slows again. A soft replay. That same frame, Timothée centered, Pauline beside him, Kylie close, all within a shared space that feels almost too natural for a night built on spectacle. And suddenly, the question changes. Not is this real? But why does this feel so real? Because authenticity, when it appears in a space filled with performance, stands out immediately. It disrupts expectations. It forces people to pause, to look closer. And that's exactly what happened here. The camera didn't capture a headline. It captured a feeling. Cut to another imagined angle, slightly behind them this time. The crowd is blurred. The lights soften. And for a brief second, they don't look like global celebrities at all. They look like people. People navigating something delicate. People figuring things out in real time. And maybe that's what made it so compelling, because despite all the fame, all the pressure, all the eyes watching, this moment felt grounded. Human. The tempo rises again. Comments flash across the screen. This is different. You can't fake that energy. There's something genuine here. And then the counter voices, it's all perception. We're reading too much into it. And both sides keep the story alive. Because tension doesn't always come from conflict between people. Sometimes it comes from uncertainty. From not knowing what something truly means. And that uncertainty becomes the hook that keeps everyone watching. But here's where things take another turn. Because while the internet was busy analyzing, something quieter was happening in the background, the shaping of a new narrative. Not forced. Not announced. But slowly, naturally, forming. A narrative where Kylie Jenner isn't just seen through the lens of fame and influence, but as someone capable of blending into a more intimate, grounded environment. A narrative where Pauline Chalamet isn't positioned as a gatekeeper, but as a steady presence open to connection. And at the center, Timothée Chalamet, not divided, not conflicted, but balanced. That balance becomes the emotional core of everything. Because it suggests something rare. Not perfection, but harmony. The visuals tighten again. A heartbeat-like rhythm builds under the narration. Quick flashes, smiles, glances, micro-expressions that last less than a second but carry weight far beyond their duration. This is where the story stops being about them. And starts being about us. Because everyone watching brings their own perspective. Their own expectations. Their own experiences with relationships, with family, with acceptance. And suddenly, that one small moment becomes a mirror. Some see hope. Some see strategy. Some see coincidence. But no one sees nothing. And that's what makes it powerful. Now we move toward another emotional peak, not louder, but deeper. Because the longer you sit with that moment, the more it reveals. Not through new footage, but through reflection. The idea that maybe, just maybe, the most meaningful shifts don't come with announcements or grand gestures. They come quietly. In shared space. In mutual comfort. In the absence of tension. And that's exactly what was captured that night at the Academy Awards. Not a performance. But a pause. A rare pause where everything aligned just enough to be felt. The music fades again. Softer now. Almost introspective. And we return one last time to that original frame. No edits. No enhancements. Just the moment as it was. 3 people. 1 space. A connection that doesn't explain itself, but doesn't need to. And maybe that's the final takeaway. Not every story needs a clear answer. Not every moment needs to be defined. Some are meant to be experienced, felt, remembered. So now, after everything you've seen, everything you've heard, everything you've interpreted, what do you believe really happened between Timothée Chalamet, Pauline Chalamet, and Kylie Jenner that night? Was it a fleeting interaction that the world amplified? Or a subtle, powerful signal of something evolving beneath the surface? Drop your thoughts below, share this story with others who can't get enough of Hollywood's most talked about moments, and stay connected. Because if this night proved anything at all, it's that sometimes, the quietest scenes echo the loudest. And just when it felt like the story had settled into something calm, something understandable, a new wave of curiosity began to rise, stronger, sharper, and far more intense than before. Because people weren't just replaying the moment anymore. They were questioning it. Not in a negative way, but in a deeper, more analytical way. What did that glance really mean? Why did the energy feel so different compared to past public appearances? And most importantly, why did it resonate with so many people at once? At the center of all this, the same 3 names continued to dominate the conversation: Timothée Chalamet, Pauline Chalamet, and Kylie Jenner. But now, the narrative had evolved beyond simple observation. It had become interpretation. The pacing shifts again, faster now. Notifications popping. Comments stacking. Reaction videos flooding timelines. Everyone has a take. Everyone has a theory. And yet, no one has a definitive answer. That uncertainty becomes the fuel. Because in a world where everything is usually explained instantly, something unexplained becomes irresistible. Cut to a different perspective, imagine being in that room, not as a viewer, but as someone just a few seats away. The sound of distant conversations, the soft clinking of glasses, the low hum of anticipation. And in the middle of it all, this quiet triangle of connection that somehow feels grounded. Not loud. Not performative. Just there. And that presence begins to mean more than any headline ever could. Because presence, when it's real, doesn't try to prove itself. It simply exists. The rhythm slows again. A close-up replay, Timothée Chalamet listening, not speaking. Kylie Jenner reacting, not performing. Pauline Chalamet observing, not judging. Each role subtle. Each role balanced. And suddenly, it doesn't feel like 3 individuals sharing space. It feels like a dynamic. A system. Something that has found its rhythm, not perfectly, but naturally. And that's where the emotional tension shifts once again. Because now the audience isn't just asking, is this real? They're asking, how did this become real? What happened before this moment? What conversations took place away from the cameras? What boundaries were crossed, or respected, to get here? These are the questions that deepen the story. Because what we saw was only the surface. And the surface, as compelling as it is, always hints at something deeper. The tempo rises, quick flashes of headlines, speculation, past rumors, contrasting narratives. The noise builds. The uncertainty grows. And then, silence. A sudden pause. Because sometimes, the most powerful storytelling move is to stop. To let the moment breathe. To allow the audience to sit with what they've seen without immediately defining it. And in that silence, something clicks. Maybe this wasn't about proving anything to the world. Maybe this wasn't about making a statement. Maybe it was simply about being comfortable enough not to. And that idea changes everything. Because comfort, especially in a space as intense as the Academy Awards, is rare. It's not easily achieved. It can't be forced. It has to be built. Over time. Through trust. Through understanding. And if that's what we witnessed, even in the smallest way, then this moment carries far more weight than it first appeared. The visuals return, one last sequence of slow-motion shots. A shared laugh. A subtle nod. A glance that lingers just long enough to be felt, but not long enough to be obvious. These are not grand gestures. They're micro-moments. And yet, they're the ones that stay. Because they feel honest. Now the story approaches its final emotional peak, not with volume, but with clarity. Everything we've seen, everything we've analyzed, everything we've questioned, leads to one simple realization. Not every important moment announces itself. Some just happen. Quietly. Naturally. Unintentionally. And their impact is only understood afterward. As the music softens again, we return to that central image, Timothée Chalamet between Pauline Chalamet and Kylie Jenner, not as a spectacle, but as a moment of alignment. No labels. No declarations. Just a sense that something fits. And maybe that's the real story. Not whether this confirms anything. Not whether it signals a new chapter. But whether, for a brief moment, three lives intersected in a way that felt genuine enough for the entire world to notice. And in a landscape dominated by noise, that kind of authenticity becomes unforgettable. So now, as the screen begins to fade and the moment lingers just a little longer in your mind, one final question remains. Not about them, but about you. What did you see in that moment? What did you feel? And why do you think it stayed with you? Because sometimes, the biggest stories aren't the ones we're told. They're the ones we quietly understand. Share your thoughts, pass this along to someone who's been following every twist of the story, and stay connected. Because if there's one thing this moment proved, it's that even in the most public spaces, the most meaningful connections still happen in silence.